Okay, hello, Paul Williams. How are you today?
I'm good, Michael. Good to see you.
Well, yeah, likewise. Do you have fond memories of working on The Phantom of the Paradise?
Oh my God, yes. And it's interesting because it was dual roles as playing Swan and working on the songs and the like. Yeah, it was remarkable. It was a tight schedule. The budget was certainly tight as well. But a chance to, I started out as an actor, so all of a sudden I'm on camera and loving that. But when the day's shooting would end, most of the songs were written before, you write the songs in advance so that, you can film the performances. But what was going on while we're shooting the picture is we're bringing in the new characters that are being hired and putting together the guys that became the Juicy Fruit. So I would leave the set with my makeup still on, go to the recording studio, record vocals all night long, go back to the set. They would take the old makeup off, put new makeup on, and I was 34 at the time, so.
Okay. So
yeah.
I'm 31, so.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got to love, the fact is that I've probably, now we're 45 years later, you do the math, you realize I'm almost 79. And I feel like a really tired 34. So, I run 3 to 5 miles every day.
Wow.
I'm 29 years sober and don't eat meat and trying to do all the things that, I want 3 digits on my driver's license.
Well, it looks like you're on your way for that.
I hope so. I hope so.
I was wondering, how did Brian De Palma talk to you with his directions on this film?
It was interesting because it was so conversational. It doesn't stand out. It was such a remarkably open, collaborative experience with all of us. This was a group effort, and clearly it's Brian's vision. I'm not implying anything other than that. But I think that I've had the opportunity to work with a couple of people that were really open in allowing you your creative space. The other one would be Jim Henson. When I was signed to do the movies for the Muppet movie, or the songs for the Muppet movie, we had a little meeting at my house, and walking to Jim back to the car, I said to him, don't worry about this. We're going to let you hear the songs while we're working on them, so there's, you make sure we're on the right path. And he said, "Oh, Paul, I'll hear them in the studio." Really? Where do you find that kind of creative freedom these days? He trusted the choices he made, and I think that Brian was like that as well. And a really good director will lead you to something he wants without pointing it out, without showing it to you. He will say something that leads you to that reaction. So, well camouflaged. But Brian was wonderfully tolerant of my whole want to be a director feelings at that time.
So I love William Finley's performance.
Oh, Bill, it was stunning.
I think he's got one of the great evil laughs in that movie, and he's so intense in this movie, and so is Swan. But I was wondering, what was it like with you and him in between takes? Was there levity?
There was, but it's funny because I think we were all so busy, and the fact is that if I'm coming off shooting a scene, with somebody else, and he's coming in to work and all, you kind of give each other your space and all. But the fact is that to bring that kind of an innocence to a character that is that maniacal is just brilliant, and to do it with one eye. I mean, it's just it's a performance of a lifetime, I think, and a huge part of why it's a success.
So, was the 70s like your favorite decade to work in? You were in so many memorable roles then.
You know what? Like right now, I'm writing a musical with Guillermo del Toro based on Pan's Labyrinth.
That is very cool.
I'm a regular on Goliath, with Billy Bob Thornton. I'm president and chairman of the board of ASCAP. This is my favorite moment in my life ever. And to be at this age and to have the kind of creative opportunity, I'm beyond grateful. It's just, it's amazing that, most guys my age are playing bad golf, I do play a little bad golf, but the fact is that I'm always getting on an airplane.
That's great.
It's fantastic. I think it'll, hopefully it'll keep me alive many, many more years, as long as I can. My morning prayer is I get up and I say, "Surprise me, God, lead me where you need me." And if I'm someplace where I'm useful, I usually find something that I hadn't expected to find there, and it's usually just a gift.
Okay, so you know, so today is exciting for you. Yesterday was exciting. It's all good. But when it comes to like 70s movies, what do you think kind of distinguishes that decade from other ones?
Well, you know, I'm not sure that I can even compare Phantom to like 70s movies. It's funny, we were talking about it, you know, could you make a movie like that today? I think Edgar Wright does. I mean, I think that, you know, as soon as I saw Shaun of the Dead, I was like nuts for that. But you look at a movie like, you know, like Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I think 30 years from now, I mean, and it was a bigger success certainly than Phantom was. But I think that Scott, that's a picture that in somewhere down the line in the future, you're going to have a huge collection of people that just love that movie and don't understand why it wasn't just a blockbuster hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, did you enjoy working with Edgar Wright on Baby Driver? That was a fun experience.
Well, finally, Edgar, you finally, you know, he did Bugsy Malone when he was a kid. Like every kid in England does Bugsy Malone. So, and he's been so sweet about Phantom and so supportive of the picture, and became a good friend. He finally uses me as an actor, and what he gives me is like about a page and a half of this weirdest dialogue you've ever seen in your life, where I'm referring to all these weapons as parts of a pig. You know,
that was a great scene.
So, but yeah, you know, you can't improvise that. In other words, I have to learn it word for word. You know, and then he kills me, so I'm not going to be in the sequel if there's a sequel. You know, but I mean, there's nothing that is more living your fantasies for me than walking on a set. You know, the first movie I did was in 1963 called The Loved One, with Jonathan Winter, Sir John Gielgud, this amazing cast. So I'm walking onto that set and seeing the big, you know, Chapman cranes and the cameras and the lights. I still have the exact same reaction to it. You know, there's very little blasé in my world. I'm excited about every part of my life.
I find your enthusiasm really infectious, and for someone at your age to still be so excited to get out of bed, really nice, and
Thank you.
kind of refreshing to some other people around your age that I know.
Come on, Michael, who are you talking about? I want to hear the bad guys.
Oh, no, you're wonderful. I'm very charmed. So do you prefer working on music or do you prefer acting?
Yes to both. You know, the fact is
Okay.
that I don't really work at it. I play at both of them. I think that there's so much discovery in the world of acting for me. Like to be working with somebody like Billy Bob Thornton. He's just, I mean, it's the most remarkable inner work that, you know, and it's not cartoon acting. It's not Smokey and the Bandit. You know, it's really, you know, living that character. I mean, they say dance with the one that brung you. I'm a songwriter. That's what has given me the life that I have. But anytime I get a chance to get in front of the camera, I love it. I'm easy. What can I tell you? I'm just a little slut. I'll take it all. Just a little slut, you know?
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. So you've done some scores as well, beyond just songwriting. You've done actual scores, and I was wondering, what was your favorite score that you worked on?
Well, you know, it's interesting because there was a certain point when I started to have dreams that had the little SMPTE time code in the corner of my dream. I thought, you know what, go back to songwriting and get out of scoring pictures because you're in over your head. You know, Kenny Asher and I wrote the song score for the Muppet movie, but when it came time to score the film, Kenny had a little girl, and he's sitting there looking at the spotting session where we're figuring out where the movie's going to go and everything, and he finally looked at me and he went, I can't do this. I got to go home. I've got a little girl that was just born at home, and I got to go. So I wound up scoring the Muppet movie, and I mean, it's funny. I can remember. You know, bum 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 bum. I mean, that's basically how I sang the lines of the score to the orchestrator working with me, and he would say, "You just killed a flautist because you've got that flautist trying to play stuff that a piccolo is used for." So. I was always in over my head, but I loved it. I scored a film for Burt Reynolds called The End.
Okay.
Which I was really proud of the score. I had a title song at the end called Another Fine Mess. And but You know, I scored a few pictures for television movies as well. You know, it's there's guys that do it so much better than I do. You know, I mean, basically my work in music and in film is kind of lyric driven.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I write words and music for certain projects like Muppet Christmas Carol, Phantom of the Paradise, whatever. But I also love collaborating.
All right, so one more question, and thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure, Mike.
It's been wonderful, a life experience for sure for me.
Oh, good, thank you.
Maybe not for you, but for me. So, are you enjoying your time in Montreal though at the Fantasia Film Festival?
Well, absolutely, and you know the fact is that to be it's one thing to be in a film festival with people that are devoted to film, that really appreciate cinema,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you step into the world of fantasy and horror and all, which is a rare experience to get that many people together. But when you add the people that have given your career life, because the fans of Winnipeg and the fans in Paris, because those were the two cities that embraced that film, when you have a chance to come up to those people and say, you know what, thank you, because your love, you've kept this film alive.
Mm-hmm.
If it had been a success, it would be gone by now probably. But because it was ignored by the rest of the world, everybody just said, they began to share it with their friends, and their friends shared it with their friends, and you know, it's a gift. You know, and amongst those fans were people like Daft Punk and Guillermo del Toro and Edgar Wright and the people that I get to work with now.
And Michael O'Keefe. Okay.
And Michael O'Keefe, Michael.
Thanks so much.
I appreciate it.